All right, and now we have a special guest joining us, our friend of the pod, our co-founder and CEO of beatBread, Peter Sinclair. Welcome back.
Hey, Dan, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Thank you. You launched this deal comparison tool. We did share a little bit about it a couple weeks ago in the Trapital newsletter, the podcast, but give us the latest.
We're really excited about it. We've decided to help people who are looking at deals, not just ours, run those deals through our data science and see not just what is your lawyer telling you, but how's this deal going to really play out in real life? What am I going to owe for how long? If my music performs maybe a little less well than I think, what's going to happen to my cash flows? If it does really well, how much is it going to cost me? How much am I giving up to other people? And we've had a lot of success in helping independent labels and artists make really good decisions. And that's not always choosing our deal. If they happen to take a deal from us, that's great. But if not, that's okay too.
So you said not just what your lawyer is telling you. Do
Yeah.
lawyers not have everything up to tabs with these things?
Yeah, I mean, listen, lawyers are looking out for their clients. Lawyers tend to be interested in winning, which usually means a particular set of headline terms that they're looking to get more money at a particular royalty rate. But how a particular deal may actually play out in terms of the cash flows, maybe a lawyer doesn't fully understand that. And so what we've seen very frequently, we've done this with several independent labels and artists, is a deal looks great in the headline terms, but if anything goes wrong with the new releases, the new signings, or the catalog, a lot of indie labels are seeing deals that they think look great on paper, but in 2 to 3 years, they're likely to be in financial distress. I'm not sure that your lawyer can always catch that, and the deal comparison tool is a good way to do that.
So much of artists or labels making decisions on deals does often feel like they're two sides with asymmetric information, right? The artist or label know what they know, or their lawyers as well, but it often feels that the person on the other side has all the cards or all the knowledge. But would it be fair to say that even some of the things that you're uncovering or you're putting to light, the people on the other side may not even be thinking fully about how the scenarios may play out?
Yeah, they may or may not. I have to say, we beta tested this product for several months before we announced it earlier this year. And on the independent label side in particular, we saw a number of distributors, I'm not going to name names, that had these features where, there was a little extra post-recoupment cost. There's a little more grab and exclusivity on the new music. And there's a really nice upfront advance. But in order to make the cash flows work, the new music would have to really work, or the label wouldn't be able to keep the lights on. I'm not much of a conspiracy theorist, but it's hard to believe after you see this again and again that there aren't some people out there trying to put people in financial distress and then buy out their assets at a song. And if you're a small independent label, that's quite tragic. A label in the UK that came to us with a deal they thought was fantastic from one of the largest distributors in the industry, we walked it through. They actually realized maybe they shouldn't take this deal. Actually ended up taking only about 10% less money, and not from us, from one of our partners. They set their business up to be much more robust for both not giving away an arm and a leg if things went well, but if things didn't go well, not having to sell out of all their assets in a couple of years and be done.
What's been the response so far from the distributors or for the people that are offering deals now that they see that this is out there?
We have a number of distributors who are partners. Generally speaking, the people we work with, which include distributors owned by the majors and independent distributors as well, like the idea of being able to get access to more deal flow. To the extent that they may not win a deal, maybe they don't like us, but I have no illusions that it's already a competitive market anyway, right? It's not like we're creating competition that doesn't already exist. We're just trying to make that competition more clear and transparent to everyone.
What stuck out to me, 60% of the people that tried it out ended up picking a different deal.
Yeah.
That's a pretty high percentage.
It absolutely is. The benefit of information and the benefit of choice, even people with 6 and sometimes 7-figure deals, there is a little bit of, I know this guy and there's some inertia, and they get an offer from a distributor maybe they've worked with in the past, and their lawyer says, oh, that looks in line. And there's actually less shopping, even though it's possible in some cases than people think. But even the people that are shopping, maybe they think that deal X is the best, but then when they actually see how it is likely to play out in the future, realize that maybe that's not the best deal. Maybe I need to take something with a little less money or something with a slightly different recoupment rate. Actually, maybe I'm willing to take a longer term, but take some flow through in the middle of the deal. There's lots of different variables that we can show lots of different deals in the tool. And we have lots of partners who will generate lots of different options for our clients.
Yeah, in general, this feels very on brand for beatBread. Whenever I see a release or anything coming from beatBread, I know, okay, they're going to take a flashlight and show us what's really going on.
Yeah, I mean, everything we do, we're trying to empower artists and independent labels with choice and transparency. Whether that's with our capital or someone else's is beside the point. And that's sort of how we tend to view the world and what we think we're good at. I'm never going to be the coolest guy in a music party, right? You got to lean into what you're good at and focus on that. I'm certainly biased. I think that some of the coolest guys in the music party actually may not be the best for a lot of artists and labels out there, right? Maybe it is worth paying an extra 20% for a given distributor's connections. At the very least, the tool lays that out and you say, you know what? I'm willing to accept this cost because I believe in X, Y, and Z. And that's valid too, right? We're never going to tell you what the best deal is. At most, we can tell you what is clearly the worst. And then independent labels and artists can decide from there.
Well, to be the coolest guy at the party, you just need a few RIAA vinyls and gold platinum records behind you.
Not mine. Employees. It's good to surround yourself with music pros. I still feel like I'm not quite a music industry guy, even though I've been at it for 10 years now.
Right. Everyone kind of has that eventual journey with a lot of this stuff. But Peter, this is great. I appreciate you sharing the latest on the deal comparison tools. So for the folks listening, where can they go to check it out and learn more?
Yeah, it's beatBread.com/compare. And we explain how it works. And there's a process there to share your offers, share information about yourself. Not everyone qualifies, but if you have offers from multiple distributors, odds are you would qualify. And then we'll contact you and someone will walk you through the process and help you make a good decision.
Sounds good. And for the listeners, we'll include a link to it in the show notes as well. Thanks, Peter.
Thanks, Dan.